Hello everybody. Welcome to your weekly messages for December 29th to January 4th. This is the last weekly reading of 2019. Oh, I am so excited. And I figured I would gear these a little bit more towards manifestation today, intention setting, things like that. We'll see what comes up this week. But don't forget to take a look at your 2020 annual readings. If you haven't already, January readings are out as well. And I am wishing you all a fantastic January, fantastic 2020. I'm in full agreement for all of your desires to be fulfilled this year. And I'm just very excited heading into 2020. So I'm just sharing that with all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, and make sure you check me out on Instagram at Onyx Healing. And without further ado, let's get into some of these oracle cards. So let's see what's coming up first for everybody. Letting go. Learn to let go. Okay, so I think this has to do with what are you leaving behind in 2019? That's something, even if you're watching this after the new year, think about what is it that you don't want to bring with you. That's what you're going to be letting go of. Is there some bad habit that really was either sabotaging you or wasn't giving you the results that you needed or wanted? Is there something that's holding you back? Is there anything in your relationships that you would like to adjust in order to have better connections in your life? I mean, there's so many ways to kind of paint this, but ultimately letting go is actively leaving something behind, leaving something in the past. So I think that if you map things out for yourself so you're very clear on this is what did not work, this is what I'm leaving behind, and this is what I want to cultivate in the new year, you're going to have a lot of success with that. Okay, and then let's see what else is coming up. Manifesting is the creative process of aligning the energy of the universe to co-create an experience that elevates my spirit and the spirit of the world. Yes, so when you're thinking of manifestation, no, it's not just about a vision board. No, manifestation is not just about telling yourself, oh, this thing is coming. It's energetic. And the important thing to keep in mind about manifesting is that the more you're able to get into the energy of the thing that you're already wanting, needing, desiring, if you have a full body experience of that is already arriving, that's already coming to me, that is what actually makes it a game changer. Okay, so let's see what else we have coming up with the Sovereign Oracle this week. Play. Make it a game. Ask your inner child. Turn things upside down. Get a new perspective. Okay, so the main thing that's coming up with this play card when I'm reading this for you is ultimately not taking this time of shifting into the new year as something that's serious where you're going to have to buckle down and everything is super intense and there's no tomfoolery in 2020. That's not going to be sustainable. It's just going to make it really drab and dry and lifeless. And so play is actually how you can activate the parts of yourself that can experience and hook into motivation and alignment faster. If you're missing the play element, if it's ultimately not enjoyable, or if there's a purpose that's missing, it's not going to feel good to pursue. So all of those intentions and goals that you're setting for the new year kind of lose their luster. And so for you, the play card is really highlighting how can you make it fun? How can you make it a game? How can you make it enjoyable? How can you make this have a lot of purpose? How can you make it exciting for yourself? And that's really how you're going to cultivate a lot more energy to carry with you in 2020 around whatever goals you're setting. Okay, let's see what else is coming up, what we need to know about this week. Seven of Swords. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes. That's the main thing that the Seven of Swords highlights, is maybe you're taking action, maybe there's still a lot of prep work that you're doing. And don't worry about whether or not it's January 1st or not, or after. You can take the entire month of January to really set yourself up well, and it will still be time well spent and energy well spent. So count everything that you're doing as just being preparation, setting things up, getting into the flow of what you want, getting into the energy of what you want, and doing all of that behind the scenes work. Technically, this is a sneaky card, but it's coming up as advice. So let's see what else we have going on. We have the Three of Wands. Okay, so things are really going to be coming together. And I think whether this be your vision, like however you need to understand clarity and walking along the path and direction that makes the most sense for you, I just see it as zooming out. So here's the main thing that you're going to want to keep in mind. Let's say you have an intention. Let's say you're keeping it really traditional. You have a goal. You start January 1st, and by the 4th, you've made an error. You need to zoom out in order to compensate for that. Zoom out. Is the one day going to derail everything? It doesn't have to. It can, but instead of bullying yourself and beating yourself up, trust that just getting back into the swing of things is going to help you get to where you need to go. Zooming out can help you really have a perspective. It's what you're doing in the macro, not what you're doing in the micro instance, that's really going to make a big impact. So yes, the collective micro decisions matter, but one is something that you can just quickly shift back into what it is that you do desire, how you do want to be. And then we have the Fool, doing things differently. So I see this as you're either setting a new intention, trying something new, starting a new hobby, taking a new approach to something that you may have not otherwise been really investing in. So this new energy, this vibrant life force that's coming through is really going to support all of the things that you want. Let's see what else. Three of Pentacles. Okay, don't be afraid to give it effort. Like in the beginning, I think one of the things that people really miss out on is how to use masculine energy wisely. Okay, because if your masculine is overwhelming the feminine to the point where, again, your life is just so disciplined and rigid that you don't enjoy it, you're missing this play and flow element, that's not going to be sustainable. The same way, if you are drowning in feminine energy and it's too watery and it has no structure, you're not going to be able to build anything. So the main thing that you're going to want to figure out with this Three of Pentacles is, am I on the road to overemphasizing my masculine and burning myself out? Or is this something that's really sustainable? I'm getting that the main thing that all of these cards are really pointing to are sustainability. Go into January with the mindset of, this needs to be something that's sustainable, that I can keep up. Don't bite off more than you can chew. And that's going to help everything else. Let's see what else. Five of Wands, problem solving, figuring it out. January, I think as you go into this, because we are like setting the tone, that flip, that reset button of January 1st really sets a tone for the rest of the year. Again, I'm one of those people that thinks you can do this at any time, but for many, January 1st is important. But the perspective that you can take as you're trying things out and making things happen in January or starting something new, you're heading into this, expect there to be problems arise and you to be able to solve them. So that's the main thing coming through here. This is the problem solver card. This is helping you adjust what needs to be adjusted. And the Five of Wands, yes, it's my favorite, but it's also going to help you work out the bugs, because if you're going into 2020 with all of these things that you want to make happen, you're going to have to troubleshoot that in order to get the best results. So don't be afraid of that process. Don't demonize it. If you're not starting something until January, you're probably going to need to work out some kinks. So let that be okay, so long as your attention is focused on it. And then we also have the King of Wands. I am going to pull another card down here, see what this is all about. Ten of Cups. Okay, so for some of you, this might be someone who's really helping you with this. The King of Wands could be someone who's in your environment. Maybe you have a good fire sign friend or a fire sign partner, or someone who's extra fiery that is really supportive when it comes to accountability, motivation, confidence, right? This person is kind of like a cheerleader. The other side of this, so that's going to be some of you. For others of you, the King of Wands has to do with your own sense of mastering your energy and getting that to be the thing that drives everything else. So that's what leads to fulfillment. That's what's going to lead to this Ten of Cups energy, is how are you stepping into it? How are you owning your space, your energy, your desires? All of that stuff needs to come from your intentions and your fixations. So the King of Wands is helping you with all of that. It's really, really supportive energy. And this is just fulfillment. So go into January knowing that what you desire is fulfillable. It's attainable. It's something that you can really capitalize on. And I think that the main takeaway with this section down here is how you're showing up for yourself as we start this new year is the most important thing. Are you giving to yourself? Are you honoring yourself? Are you listening to yourself? All of that is going to make a big impact. I'm going to pull a few more cards with this deck over here, see what else is coming up. Temperance, sustainability, sustainability, sustainability. If you start 8 habits at the beginning of the year, if some have to fall away, that's okay. All right, don't bully yourself or think you have to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Instead, it's kind of like, okay, what can I reasonably manage at this time, and just get really, really in a flow state with that. Flow and adaptability will be your saving grace as you move into this new month, as we move into this new year. Don't be afraid to rearrange things in the beginning of the year if you realize that things aren't working the way you thought they would. So that's going to be what leads to that fulfillment piece. So don't go in with, if I don't get everything right, I'm a failure. It's, I need to troubleshoot this so it works for me. Flip it around. And then we have the Magician, actively create, set your intentions. You know, the manifestation piece of the Magician is something where you're actively creating each and every day. It's not a one-off thing. It's not one ritual. It's not one thing of journaling. It's not one vision board. It's the energy of, again, like this card says, it's co-creating an experience, and you have to get your energy on board. And that's what this reading is really pointing to. Troubleshooting along the way, honoring the ways that you need to kind of enjoy yourself while adding structure. We have the Four of Wands. Things are coming together in ways that I think you might not be able to see at this time. This is also reminding me of the Seven of Swords, where it's like there's a lot of background work, there's a lot of troubleshooting, there's a lot of efforting around getting everything set up for yourself. And the Four of Wands is like the happy home celebration. There's things that are coming together. So even if you don't get to pick the fruit yet, because I think many of us, as we head into the season, we're still planting seeds. And that is typically what January has been known for, as far as New Year's Eve and everything like that. So the Four of Wands is just showing things are coming together. You may not be able to see it. Just keep trusting that putting your energy behind it, getting your energy aligned with it, is what will help bolster things. And then we have the Seven of Wands. So rising above the challenges, rising above the friction, getting yourself out of the weeds and out into the open is really what this is about. Becoming the full expression of yourself is what the Seven of Wands is about. And the same goes for the King of Wands. These two cards are kind of playing together from what I can see. And so the Seven of Wands is you owning the pieces that you may have been really nervous to express or felt confused about how to express or uncertain of how to express. And instead, you're just fully owning your power. And again, that mutability factor, that temperance, balance, being able to problem solve and troubleshoot regardless of what you're wanting to make happen, trusting that everything will come together so long as you're showing up in the energy of that thing. So really stay away from bullying yourself and beating yourself up. That is kryptonite for intentions and manifestation. So that's the biggest piece of advice I can give you. I'm going to pull an animal card, then we're going to do a 3-card pick. So first, for the animal card, we have Oyster. Ooh, I love this card. I haven't pulled it in quite some time, but it's kind of like there's so much brewing under the surface. Like this, once it gets cracked open, you're going to be amazed at just what you find. But you have to find that flow. You kind of have to figure out how to open this up. And that's the goal of January, is figuring out how to find your flow, how to find the rhythm that really works for you. And that's going to lead to a lot of successes. So the Oyster is helping you with that. And just know this is just the beginning. January is not the end. You want to keep going regardless of what happens as you enter this month. And know that you have lots of time, and that's on your side. So just view it as continually getting your energy behind everything, and that's what's going to lead to all of the good stuff in here. Okay, so let's do a 3-card pick. These are archetype cards, so it's a little bit different. They're not going to read like normal tarot cards. These are going to be heavy on advice because it's going to show you what archetype you need to keep in mind and what you might want to do with that energy. So go ahead, set your intention, ask a question, what you need to know. If you need more time, pause the video. Card number 1, we have the Mirror. The good thing about this card, in my opinion, is that everything outside of yourself can be viewed as a reflection. The people, the places, the opportunities, the energy that you have around you is really going to highlight what your internal experience is. What are the stories that you're telling yourself about those reflections? What are the feelings that are coming up around you? This is all going to really support and help you to make adjustments that you need as you move through. So don't judge your reflections, just get curious with it. What is this telling me? What does this say about my internal state? Am I personalizing this? The more you're able to just observe neutrally, you can adjust from there. So again, staying away from judgment, just using the reflections around you as an identification of maybe there's some wounding here, maybe there's a block or an issue or something I need to work through. Card number 2, we have the Pilgrim. You're heading into uncharted territory. Don't be afraid of the newness of everything that you're experiencing. Lean into it. Again, don't be afraid to modify. Don't be afraid to go on some detours or make some modifications. That's really going to help with this energy because it is so new. And you can even see with this card, it's very busy. There's almost a chaotic feel to it. And so you kind of want to trust that this is going to mellow out, but just pay close attention to the ways that you're showing up and stepping into this new energy. And then at card number 3, we have the Offering. Okay, so this is one of two things. Either you are the one making the offering, or you're seeing a lot of offers come in. So depending on what you've been guided to do, right? If you're sitting in meditation and you're getting nudged, hey, you need to do this thing, you're probably the one making the offering. If you're getting called to just receive, then you're probably the one who's receiving and calling these things into your space. So either way, trust this right here, this offering, whatever that might be. It's kind of like this is the golden ticket. So keep your eyes peeled for those offers coming in. That's really exciting stuff. And also don't be afraid to make offers yourself if you're feeling called to. That's going to be an important part here. All right, my friends, that's all that I have for you today. Happy New Year. I hope you have a fantastic week and, have a good time heading into 2020. And I'm sending you all sorts of support in your manifestation practices, whatever you might be doing to set yourself up for success in 2020. I'm in full agreement for you to just kill it with all of that. All right, if you need to know what decks I've used, they are listed in the description box. And until next time, have a beautiful 2020, everybody. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.